Give me a cue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, people around the world, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, GCC, UAE, welcome to the first time ever taking place here with Comic-Con Live, Comic-Con, making it happen. A lot of beautiful things are taking place here. I know, we miss you too. We really, really do. You know, normally it's like the big stage with lights and energy and all of that. And you guys would come to our destination. Last time to us, Comic-Con Arabia took place in Riyadh. Now we are going to you. We're coming to you guys at your own comfort. So thank you so much for tuning in right here in the first time ever taking place, as I think it is in, you know, the Middle East, the first master class with Comic-Con Live. And now I'm going to Arabic. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. كيف حالكم؟ معاكم براء عبد الله المقدم لفعالية الإلكترونية على الإنترنت، فعالية Comic-Con Live. كيف حالكم؟ إن شاء الله بخير. طبعا السنة دي سنة كلش ما توقعناها، نطقنا كلنا بالطريقة دي. كان خاطرنا صراحة نشوفكم وجه بوجه، نحس بوجودكم طاقتكم، بس قلنا يلا ما عليه. هالمره الامور تغيرت، خان عندكم انتم بتليفوناتكم وشاشاتكم نتعلم معاكم اشياء جميله في عالم البوب كلتشر. Now, so what's happening here is that we thought we would take every part of a Comic-Con and, you know, segment that into different series. Of course, one of the things we always have in Comic-Cons are cosplay. We can never live without them now. That's it. They are a huge part of any pop culture event that we take and live with. So today I am here with an amazing personality all the way from the United States. He is a prominent cosplayer. Everybody knows him. He's strong, he's big, and everything he does is just phenomenal. So ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the United States, let's make it happen and make some noise for Michael KNIGHTMAGE. What is happening? Just waiting for him right now. على مايي قولها بالعربي يعني. فاعزائي الحضور طبعا الحين نبتدي معاكم باول شيء حصه الماستر كلاس، وهي عباره عن حصه خاصه نتعلم فيها اشياء متنوعه مختصه بعالم البوب كلتشر. طبعا معنا اليوم من امريكا شخصيه معروفه في عالم الكوسبلاي، الزي ماله كلش عود وفيه وايد تفاصيل ودقه جميله في كل شيء يسويه في ازيائه. فأعزائي المشاهدين نبتدي معاكم بأول عرض مع Comic-Con لايف من أمريكا. نرحب بالأستاذ مايكل KNIGHTMAGE. فيلا نبتدي معاكم البث الآن مع مايكل KNIGHTMAGE. Let's go with the Masterclass.
Not much, man. Like, all right, so being in that waiting room and then all of a sudden you're just like, you're here.
I know, this is crazy. It's like a waiting room on Zoom. This is fun. This is so much fun. So, buddy, how are you? What time is it at your place right now?
It is 10 a.m.
10 a.m. It
10
is
a.m.
right now 5 p.m. in Bahrain, 5 p.m. in Saudi Arabia, and it's 6 p.m. in the UAE. So we're like, okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
cool.
you guys had well, you guys had lunch and dinner. I just had breakfast. So
what was breakfast, man?
Just a protein drink.
Of course.
That's it.
You know, you need that big build, you know?
That's right.
Might build up. You gotta have the protein shake. Yeah, definitely.
Protein shakes
well,
for all the spandex. Protein shakes for the spandex.
Oh, good, buddy. This is good. So now let's start this. The first thing ever taking place in the Middle East. You are with us here in the Middle East, even though it's happening on an electronic platform. But with Comic-Con Arabia, with what takes is Comic-Con Live taking place right here with you. This is the first ever masterclass to take place in history on this platform.
Is history. This is history.
This is history. Awesome. We're making history. I know. We're making history right now. I know. It's like, whoa, let's just like let that sink for a second. Hey, it is happening. It is real. So, man, Mr. Michael. So for those who doesn't know him, which it's gonna be like pretty much uncool because he's all over the place. Now, Mr. Michael actually is a sheriff. So it's like, he has his badge, he walks around, he saves the world every day, one day at a time, definitely. But as well, he was a Hollywood stuntman.
Well,
whoa, tell us about that.
So how that actually started. So the very first movie, I just did background work for Spider-Man 3, which, listen, I don't care what anyone says. That was an excellent movie. I don't care what anyone says. Spider-Man
it's amazing, man. It's amazing. What are you talking about?
So yeah, I got started doing background work for that, and then actually I didn't do anything for a long time. And then when Avengers came up in Cleveland, which I live right near Cleveland, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for that. So I went out, auditioned for that. I got a small part doing that. Did some stunt work for the Dark Knight Rises, and then ended up doing it's pretty much all comic book movies. But the funny thing is, I get typecast for either like police officers or firefighters or something like that. Probably one of the funnest things I've done was I got to do some stunt driving for the Winter Soldier. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So, in one of the scenes actually where the Washington police were chasing Nick Fury, yeah, I was one of the stunt drivers for that. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, I need to watch the movie again. Just look for it. No way.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. So now you did some drive stunts and you did some stunts for Batman. Like we're talking about like physical stuff. Like you go and punch somebody or you get punched.
Yeah.
What kind of stunts?
Yeah, just like some fight choreography stuff. So I kind of got started with the fight choreography. There's an amusement park called Six Flags, and back in college, they had this thing called like the Batman Extravaganza, where Batman and Robin would come, and there would be the villains and the thugs, and they basically performed this stunt show over the water. And so I was one of the thugs getting beat up by Batman for that back in college. So that's how I really got into like the fight choreography. I really just loved it. As I got older, I stopped doing it, and it's one of those things that once you stop, like, and you try and start, and you're older, dude, you can't. Like, it's just your body is just like, yeah, dude, you you lost it.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I think it's one of those stuff that once you're done, it's like your body's like, I think we've taken enough beating, and we're good. We had fun, been there, done that, and that's it. Now moving on to something else. Like, so how did you, from being a sheriff, alongside that you were a stuntman for different movies, and all of a sudden you entered to the cosplay scene? How did that transition happen?
Halloween. Really, just Halloween. Loved Halloween. And one year, it was 2011, and I wanted to be a Green Lantern. So I initially wanted to be Guy Gardner, which, again, I don't care what anyone says. Guy Gardner is one of the best lanterns. He's awesome. But getting into that, like, I didn't know anything about the cosplay community, or the convention community, so I didn't know if it was going to be kind of socially acceptable for me to be Guy Gardner because he's traditionally seen as a white guy. So I chose my second favorite lantern, John Stewart. So at the time, again, I didn't know anything about making costumes, so I went ahead and went to Joanne Fabrics. My girlfriend helped me sew the costume together, got some fabric and some Under Armour. And once we had the costume done, just went out to, the bars and parties and had fun. And so a buddy of mine was doing a cancer walk, a Relay for Life event. And he said, hey, you have the superhero costume. Could you come and just kind of mingle with the crowd? So, yeah, okay. So I went and did that, had a blast. And then I got offered to do another charity event and another charity event. So like in 2012, that's all I was doing was just charity events. Like every weekend, that's what I was at Children's Hospital. I was doing, cancer walks, birthdays, parades. I was just doing charity stuff. And at the end of 2012, I went to my first convention. And that's when I got my first taste of the cosplay community, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like, now I'm with my people. This is where I belong, you know? And so, yeah,
people.
right. So yeah, I ended up making a Batman costume. I made a Captain America, and then it just kind of snowballed, and it really became my passion. Like, so it went from my hobby to, well, like, it went from something just to do on the weekends to a hobby, then to my passion. And so now I'm about 221 costumes in.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a small addiction. It's a small one.
A small one?
Anyone who cosplays will tell you it isn't. It's like, I don't know. It's so much fun. Just so much fun. But yeah, so yeah, now that's pretty much all I do, man. Is that's me.
Oh man, bless you, bless you. I mean, one of the things I saw you did is you actually went to a wedding. you blessed a couple with you cosplaying. It's like, wait, whoa! I'm jealous now. Like I want to be, I want to, get married and cosplay, or bring a cosplay. We'll bless our wedding. I don't know who could have.
It's always interesting. So a lot of the photos I do are at this one place. It's the President McKinley Library, and I do a lot of my photos there. The architecture is beautiful, so it's a great place for people. They do like graduation photos and they do weddings and stuff. So typically, when I'm off work, it's like a Friday or Saturday. That's prime time for people to be there. So I'll get in costume, and I'm just, there's like a wedding going around, and I just, Serpentor from G.I. Joe just comes walking up, and they're just like, what the heck is going on? And then before you know it, they're like, hey, can you come over and join us? Like, we want photos, and can you like help us and just have fun with us? Like, sure. So it never fails. Anytime I go there, there's someone there, there's some kind of party there. So people are just really intrigued. I've had fans like, oh my God, wait, KNIGHTMAGE, it's you, like you're here, like yeah. I was doing my gargoyle photo shoot there.
Okay.
And someone was driving past, and he snapped some photos, and he put it online, and it went from me just doing a photo shoot to there was like a secret movie being filmed in Niles, Ohio. It was crazy.
No
like
way.
People actually believe that there was because it was just like a photo of this gargoyle, perched up on the stone, and people, and there's, I had like 2 or 3 photographers there. So people thought there was like a movie production or something going on. I'm like, no, just me dressed in spandex playing. But it's always fun. I love it.
No, it shows, man. It shows. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I think you're a blessing at this point, in the sense that what you're doing is you want to have fun. You want to spread positivity, right? And you saw that, and again, bless you for all the charity work you've been doing. I mean, that's such a beautiful gesture from you to actually, put your time and effort out of your day to go and just make somebody smile. That's just like a superpower on its own. I mean, I think you'll be joining the Avengers very soon. Going to get a phone call just for being that. Honestly,
I mean, honestly, it's a win-win with that. Like, you get to dress up and have fun, but then to be able to find a way to, give back through your passion, it's an absolute win-win. And yeah. So like now, it honestly is 50% about the art and the craftsmanship and just bringing the costumes to life, and I just love doing that. But then it's also 50% trying to find a way to use it to give back in some kind of way.
Oh man, you did an amazing job. I mean, it's just like walking around and doing that, and then from there, from charity works to weddings, and then you go into your first Comic-Con in 2012, and all of a sudden it just blew up out of proportion at that point. And I think, like, you'll go to any events, like, oh my God, it is KNIGHTMAGE coming in, make way. It's like, no way, this is awesome. So there to that, and with all the cosplay. So now, let's just go to more into technical side of the cosplay scene. Then we go back to the public side, or the public aspect of it. So now, that's it. You're excited now. You are going in. You're gonna, there's an event you're gonna go to, or a charity work. Of course, obviously, you're gonna get in action. So you're pumped. You're positive. Like, I'm gonna do this. Material. The first thing you think of, what I mean, what inspires you to take a certain character? Is it the looks? Is it the character? Is it the personality? I mean, what makes you feel like I want to be Captain America today? I want to be, of course, one of my favorites is Darkwing Duck. I'm like, what? How did he do that? No, he did. How? I mean, he can do all the new stuff right now, but going back to the cartoons we used to watch, and you're Darkwing Duck, and you're not even anyone. You're the puffed, awesome Darkwing Duck, you know?
Thank
if
you.
I may say it, on steroids.
I love Darkwing on steroids. Typically, usually, whenever I do a costume, like when I do Link from Legend of Zelda, it's like it's Link on steroids. So, like, but if like you're getting into it, and I guess I could speak for myself, but everyone's gonna, have their own comfort zone with it. But if it's me, like I said, when I first started, I didn't know if I could be Guy Gardner, right? So I chose John Stewart. Once I actually got into the cosplay community and seeing exactly what it is all about and conventions and stuff, I quickly realized that, man, I could have been Guy Gardner all day long. Like, to me, what cosplay is about is really just fan art. It's bringing your fan art of this character to life and however you envision it. So, and there's no wrong way to do fan art. So you take, Superman or Batman or whatever character, depending on like the artist or director, writer, or whatever it is, whoever's doing that character at the time, this character has been seen 20 million different ways. So how come, Batman can't be a 4'2" dude with a mustache on Earth number 999? Like, Batman can be that. So basically, you're just bringing these characters to life as you see fit, as yourself. So, my job really isn't to recreate a character as you see someone else did it. My job is to make you really believe that the character always looked like me. So that's why I try and preach about accuracy is fine. Accuracy is great if you want to go for that, but I really preach, doing things on your own terms and just letting your creative juices flow. There's the sky's the limit,
Oh man.
So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, when I'm thinking of a costume, honestly, there's no rhyme or reason why I'll do a costume as long as I think I'll have fun. So I think probably why I'm in the 220s because I don't have limits. Like there's nothing I'll ever say that I'm just not going to do. As long as I think I'm going to have fun with it, I'll do it. So you could name off 10 characters right now, and out of those 10, if one of those just I'm like, that sounds like it might be fun, I'm going to do it. A lot of characters, a lot of people say, well, what if I don't really watch that TV show, or I like the character design, but I've never really watched the show. Personally, what I say is just do it anyways. So again, you don't have to love the characters. There's characters that I'm not big into anime. I don't do a lot of anime, but a lot of the anime characters that I do it because either someone suggested it to me and then I thought it was going to be fun, or just, it looks like a cool design. You don't have to know the whole backstory or be in love with the character. Sometimes when you are in love with the character, it makes it more fun. The creative process makes it more fun, but you don't have to, you don't have to be in love with that character to actually do it. I will tell people though, do like a quick search of the character. So even if you've never watched My Hero Academia, I do All Might, but I've never watched it. I get the premise, I understand it, but what I'll do is, I'll go on Wikipedia or watch a couple of YouTube clips of the character just to get an idea and sense of who this character is and mannerisms and poses for like when people want to take photos. And so when I'm, if I'm having a conversation with a kid or something and they see like, oh my God, All Might's in front of me, I just want to have a conversation with them, I can have like a small conversation with them. I don't need to know details about the character, but you just want a little bit of working knowledge to just carry on a conversation with someone.
No, wow, man. Love it. Love every word you said right now. So okay. Whoa. That was pretty deep. It's just beautiful, like what you said right now, is that not necessarily it has to be accurate, but you can put your own flavor to it, which is that's like freeing, that's creative, to be unchained. It's like, Because a lot of people, when they do, they panic. It's like, no, it has to be perfection. It has to, like, when I walk, they have to think that I am the Joker. I am Captain America. But no, the thing is, I think what makes you more of a signature cosplayer is that you put your own touch to it, and nobody can be Mike KNIGHTMAGE. You are KNIGHTMAGE, and nobody can be KNIGHTMAGE because KNIGHTMAGE is you. So that's the beautiful part. So I think, whoa, man, that was a beautiful take. So with that being said, material, what happens there? All of a sudden, right now, okay, you know who I want to be. I want to be, I want to be Captain America. I want to be like a character from League of Legends or any game or any anime or any TV series at this point. Now, how can you go about with your material? Where do you go? How do you buy those stuff?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Cosplayers today are spoiled. You guys are lucky. Like, even just, I mean, I only started in 2012, but even back then, like, getting materials and finding costumes was really difficult. Like, now, there are so many companies out there where, like, you don't have the time to, sit here and craft a costume from scratch. You can go and buy this costume and slowly, make your own, like, belt or gauntlet to it and stuff. There's so many places out there, like Cosplay Sky. They make some great costumes. Milano makes some great costumes. Zentai Zone. Like, there's so many. Even actually, like Spirit Halloween, the quality of their costumes have just jumped from time when I was buying costumes from there. So one thing a lot of people they kind of get their head wrapped around it. They have to make things from scratch. I have to, to be a cosplayer, I gotta like do this 100% and make it my own. No, cosplay is just art and dressing up. So if you want to be a anime character or gaming, whatever, and you buy that costume, you're a cosplayer just as much as the person who made it 100%. You can always buy the costume, and then again, like I said, like hone your skills. Make smaller parts, like make a belt, buy a Batman costume, and then if you want to, you can make the belt. And then once you make the belt, okay, well then now I can make the gauntlets, and now I can make this and that. So you don't always have to do things from scratch. And then also commissions, doing commissions, like, man, there's so many cosplayers out there that, especially right now, a lot of their bread and butter is making costumes for people. And going on Facebook and just like joining costuming groups, and just like the Replica Prop Forum is a really great costuming group. Just going on there and saying, hey, I'm looking for this character. Does anyone have someone who could make this for me? Within seconds, you're going to get a plethora of people jump in and say, oh, this person can make it, this person can make it, oh, kind of steer away from this person. So don't be afraid to utilize social media to try and find out where to get costumes too. YouTube, however, if you want to start getting into like making your own stuff, man, you can get your doctorate on YouTube. Like, YouTube is just insane with the tutorials and how-tos and stuff. It really just is going to depend on what you want to do. I mean, and again, it's the same thing with the creating a character, how you want to create it. You ask 10 cosplayers how to make a character, you're going to get 10 different answers. So you have to kind of find out which is going to be the best way for you. I love doing armor, like with working with foam and stuff, but to me, I personally like wearing spandex. So if I can get away with doing a spandex version of Batman rather than an armor version, then that's the route I'm going to go. But someone else might love the doing armor, so they work with more foam. So it really just depends on the aesthetic you're going with, the how you want to approach it. So every costume is totally different. But if you say you do want to do like an armored Batman, first thing again I would say is go to other cosplayers that have maybe done a similar type of build with Batman, and just start asking, like, hey, how did you put this together? Someone might say, hey, I got it from this place. Some person might say, hey, I followed a tutorial from such and such online. So ask. Like, we're cosplayers, we're very vain, and we love talking about ourselves. We love talking about how we made something. So don't ever be afraid to ask, hey man, how did you make this? Like, we want to tell you. We want to tell you. So yeah, it really honestly just depends on what it is that you want to make and the route you want to go.
Oh wow, man! Oh whoa, huh? That's okay. So pretty much a lot of stores, a lot of places, and YouTube. You got it. You can get your PhD on YouTube.
YouTube, like honestly, YouTube is actually how I learned how to do makeup. Like when I first started, I was all about just doing masks and stuff, and then I was like, I'm kind of getting tired of doing masks. I kind of want to like build my skill set a little bit more. So YouTube, just start looking at simple like skull designs or whatever, and that's how I learned how to do makeup. And now I love doing makeup. I mean, since we're talking about makeup, the one thing I do always get asked about with makeup is like what kind of makeup to use. It's really going to depend on like your skin type. So like me, which I'm like very shiny right now, so I'm like
man. No, it's shining.
I'm
you're
shining.
Like,
my skin, my skin goes from like really oily to really dry, just depending on the day. So like going to like the regular just like market store or Spirit Halloween, their type makeups really don't ever work on me. Either they're too greasy, so I can't get it to set right, or I'm just the cream makeup's like just caking it on, and my skin's so dry it's just eating into my skin. It's cracking.
Wow.
So actually, I found like the water activated paints, Mayron Paradise and Wolf Effects work really, really well. Like they're very, 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 very hypoallergenic, so they're very actually good for your skin. They're okay for your skin, and all you do, they come in like little cake tins. So this is like the red. They're coming usually like 3 different sizes. So this is like the medium size. Like a medium size, it goes a long way. I could probably do like about 10 full body Hellboy paints with this.
No
it goes,
way.
Yeah. So pretty much all you're doing is just a little bit of water on a brush. It goes on very, very smooth. It dries really fast. Again, it's water activated, so it comes off really easily. Get in the shower, a little bit of soap and water is coming straight off.
Oh wow.
One thing I was going to say, actually, one thing you should always probably do before you do makeup is prime your skin. So I just use like a cheap like elf primer. Basically what primer is doing is, in essence, it's clogging your pores. So when you put the paint on, it's going onto a nice, clean, smooth surface. So from start to finish, you're washing your face, dry it, put your primer on. It goes on like lotion. Once that dries, then you can start your paint, and nice and good. Yeah. If you're like a heavy sweater, then they make like setting sprays and powders you can use. Honestly, if you're not that heavy of a sweater, then just like a cheap hairspray. Cheap hairspray will actually set it really well. And yeah, it works, man. I love it. If you're doing like any kind of like underwater photo stuff, or if you're doing some theatrical work, or somewhere where you're really going to be sweating, you're under a bunch of lights, or you're going to be like in a parade, something like that, and it's hot, probably the best thing to use is an alcohol based makeup. So like Mayron makes that. Typically you have to use an airbrush to put those on, but with the alcohol base, man, it's not coming off. Like it's on there, it's not coming off. But that's probably the best stuff to use for that. I got red on me.
Yeah, I mean, you said underwater. Did you ever do any underwater shots with makeup?
So I'm going to now, because we just.
Oh no way! Aquaman.
Well, we just opened our pool at the house, and so now I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to do some underwater stuff.
Oh, what do you have in store, man? I mean, what you
I
gonna
have
surprise
no
us with?
idea. I have no idea.
Aquaman. What else?
I did Aqua. So my Aquaman story, I made Aquaman, and I thought, hey, it's going to be kind of cool to go to Lake Erie and get some photos at Lake Erie. Well, the currents were kind of, rough that day. So I ended up slipping on one of the rocks and fell into Lake Erie. And if anyone knows anything about Lake Erie is just disgusting. It's dirty, it smells, it's horrible. So I almost honestly got swept away in Lake Erie. I was like,
whoa!
I was gripping onto the rocks. It was terrible. My girlfriend, she was taking the photos, so she had to come and help me get out.
Of course.
She ended up slipping and falling in. It was just terrible.
What?
Yeah. So.
Oh, why? You still have those photos?
I do have those photos still. I'm not showing them. No.
Well, yeah, for the right price, maybe. I don't know.
For the right price.
Oh man, everything you said so far is so inspirational because a lot of times we don't get to hear the I would say the personal and human side of what happens behind the trade, because there's a lot of stories that goes behind what you do, and especially when it comes to cosplay, there's a lot of, like, I would say, emotions, personality, attachments to a certain costume, because each costume has a story. Each costume has, like, time of your life that you're spending doing it, buying a certain material, like having an argument with a certain person, or having some issues with somebody, or just that you're putting that time to something that you love so much. All of a sudden you have the dopamine rushing in your head, and you just have this most beautiful positive moment just to make that one cosplay. Now, with all that been said, the technical side and choosing your character. Now, how about the conventions? All of a sudden now you thought, okay, I'm done. I still do charities. I will still do all the cool stuff around, but now apparently, like you said, I'm with my people. I go to conventions. So now all of a sudden you are having interest in conventions. So how did that start, and how big did it go with you?
So yeah, like I said, I went to my first convention at the end of 2012, and again, when I walked on the floor, I wore Batman to it, and the very first person that came up to me was a girl. She was dressed as Robin, and she was just freaking out. She was like, "Oh my God, it's Batman! You look so awesome!" She was like, "Can I get a photo with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so we got a photo together, and then all of a sudden there was just we had a group of people wanting our photo together and stuff. And we stood there for like 15, 20 minutes just taking photos, and then so we became friends, and then met some few other people at the convention. And what I found was the reason I think it gravitates towards so many people is we're all like kind of odd and shy, and especially growing up and you're into like that type of geek stuff. We all kind of we're kind of outcasts in a way, and when you're at that convention, you're free to be yourself. Everyone understands each other, and that's the beauty in it. Like I guess any kind of like group is like that. It's like when sports fans get together, it's like, I don't know, they get each other. When any kind of wrestling fans get together, they get each other. So it's the same thing. Like when we get together, we understand each other. But one thing that's really, really, really special about the community is it's a very social community. It's a very, very, very social community. But it's just so full of socially awkward people. And it's the only time that we can we can gather and just be ourselves, and there's no judgment. There's no shaming. It's nothing but just sharing a love for one thing or another, whether it's a video game or the cosplay or the character or whatever it is. We're just coming together for a love for something. It's just, I've never seen or been a part of a community like just, not even just the cosplay community, but just the convention community, period. So it's something really, really special.
Oh wow, man!
But
yeah,
I tell everyone honestly, like even when I first started, I would get ragged on a lot at work. Like a lot of people didn't understand the conventions and dressing up and stuff. But now, you know, as like the superhero movies are becoming more popular and comics are becoming more popular and just the whole genre is becoming more popular. Conventions are popping up everywhere. So now people are more interested and people are going into it and they're realizing that it's not just about the costumes. It's not just about, you know, the comics. Like there's something, if you're a fan of something, there's something there for you. You know what I mean? And then I think that that's opening a lot of people's eyes. And now that, you know, they're not afraid to actually get into it and step foot in the convention, I'm finding out actually a lot of people are kind of like closet nerds. Like they grew up loving this stuff, but they didn't they were scared to, you know, show it. So now that they're, you know, stepping foot in the conventions, they're kind of like, oh my god, yeah, I can be free. I can show my nerdness.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. So the more you do that, the more you go to conventions, the more you know the importance of being a cosplayer and how it helps to shape up one's personality and increase, let's say, confidence, self-esteem, and overcome some
Definitely.
kind of like challenges. So which is very
Definitely.
beautiful because I noticed that big time. You know, as I've been hosting a lot of cosplay competitions and pop culture events, I can see all these kids. The moment they come to these events and conventions, there is like it's like they discovered new kind of happiness. They discovered like I can actually be energetic. It's like, you know, it's like you discovered a new superpower. You don't know how to own it all of a sudden. It's like, oh my God, I'm positive now. I got energy that I've never felt before. And all of a sudden he's out of control. He's happy. He's doing all this stuff. He's going on stage in front of people. He's acting. It's like, that is me. I'm doing this. How? It's that costume. It's that feel of positivity. It's out of this world.
It's like when it's like when you were a kid and you would just put sunglasses on and you felt like you were invisible. You know what I mean? Like putting a costume on, I don't know, you start to embody that character. You don't feel yourself. You feel a little bit more free and open. I honestly, like I've always been a terrible public speaker. I've always just been um you know, terrible at just speaking in any kind of like public atmosphere whatsoever, even doing like
What are you
podcasts or
talking
anything like
about?
that. However, the cosplaying has actually given more confidence in that. And you know, so you get into it and you start doing it more and more and more and more, you just become, I don't know, you get strength from it. And dude, cosplay and is just therapeutic on multiple levels, like physically, mentally. It's amazing. Like one of my favorite stories is exactly what you just said. A kid running on stage and he's jumping around and dancing, and it was during a costume contest. And he kind of wanted to say something to Mike, and so give him a mic, and he, you know, said something. Well, the thing was, he was a nonverbal autistic kid, and his mom was just tearing up, going crazy because that was like
Wow.
the first time he's ever just done anything like that. And it was because he was in costume and he just felt he was very comfortable with everyone and you know what I mean? And that, yeah, the power of cosplay is incredible.
That's beautiful. I mean, I can share the same story. There's a kid as well, right? Autistic, you know, he got autism. And normally these kind of people, I would say what happens is that, you know, there's a lot of challenges that they have to go through, which I respect so much in how they fight and challenge all the things that they have to go, the obstacles. And this kid, if you talk to him, you will never even notice that he has anything going on. Actually, he's super strong. He puts the structures together and the sentences and all that. And I'm talking to him normally. And then his mother will come to me. She says, "Thank you so much." And you can see she's about to cry. I'm like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Is everything okay? Can I help you with anything?" And she goes like, I just want to tell you that my son, he's autistic. He's autistic, and but you know, as he was wearing this costume, and you approached him, and you got him on stage, and seeing my son talking so fluently like that, it just brings so much joy to my heart because I'm listening to my son being super confident and happy. and nothing is happier than that. So I almost cried as well. You know,
Yeah.
I almost cried. It's beautiful.
And and inspires. Like that's a story that inspires you. So now you think of it, and now you're a better person for it. Like a personal story, one of my favorite stories, and really got me thinking of how we influence one another is I was doing a charity event, and it was a anti-bullying event at a school, and it's probably about 250 kids, and I've done events like that before, no problem. And I was dressed as Batman, and so we did the event, the assembly, everything went well. So I ended up talking to one of the teachers a little bit after, like a week, 2 weeks after, and she's thanking me for coming and everything. The kids are still talking about Batman was there and stuff. But in particular, there was one kid who just kept saying, like, "Oh my God, like Batman was here." And it was a predominantly white school, and he just kept saying, "Oh my God, like Batman looked like me. That means I can be Batman too." And it blew my mind how I never really thought about how representation in that way is how powerful it is, just him saying that, like, now that even further fueled my desire to, like, kind of want to show that anyone can be these characters, that they're not just stagnant, just can be seen one type of way. Like, the influence there is just incredible. So I always tell cosplayers that no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're dressed as, someone's taking notice, someone's drawing inspiration from you, from either the way you look, the way you're acting. It doesn't matter how big your following is. None of that matters. You're influencing someone. Like me, like I'm 40 years old, and if I walk up to someone, I see a guy dressed in a Superman costume, I don't care what the Superman costume looks like. I don't care. It could be a store-bought puffy muscle man suit. I don't care. You're Superman, and I'm just going to lose my crap because I love Superman that much. Like, so someone's always going to take notice, and you're influencing someone.
Beautiful, man. That is beautiful. I mean, that's a great, powerful message, actually, to send to all cosplayers, who are spending time and effort just to make somebody else happy, and even themselves. Now, Here's the thing. With all the conventions that you've been doing and been going around, when did you take notice that you kind of like, I think I'm getting more notice. I think I'm well known. Hey, am I a celebrity? Am I getting famous? Like, when did you notice that, oh my God, I'm actually well known around, everybody knows me. And like, when did it hit you that you actually
I still don't think that
famous cosplayer?
like,
I knew you're going to say that. I knew you're going to say that. That's the thing. That's why I asked you.
Like, man, like, I think we live in an age where, man, like YouTubers, and there's Twitch, Twitch people, and there's Instagram influencers. There's so many different ways to make an impact and kind of become well known in whatever you're doing. But I mean, I don't know. Personally, me, I don't feel I fall into that character. Like, do I think I've done a lot? Do I think that I've inspired a lot and kind of put my mark in some kind of way? Absolutely. But obviously there's always going to be someone more well known. There's always going to be someone more more famous, whatever. But I don't think I don't know. I don't think I've actually hit that point where I can say, man, I think I'm really well known. No, I haven't hit that point.
Really,
I mean, there's certain cost. No, I know there's not. No, I haven't hit it. But I will say there's certain costumes, I think, that have that I'm just like known for. So like Spawn, like whenever someone typically is talking about a Spawn cosplay, they say, "Oh, you mean Knightmage?" Like that type of thing, But just me, nah. So, but there's certain costumes, I think, because I mean, let's be honest. Like, you put a picture up, and if it goes viral, people don't like the majority of people don't care about who the person is. They're just admiring the costume. They just know, oh my God, that's Afro Samurai. Like, I love that Afro Samurai. They don't care who's the person wearing the Afro Samurai. They just love the Afro Samurai, which I'm fine with that. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But here's the thing. You are actually a celebrity. I mean, come on, man. You came to the Middle East. You know, you flew all the way. You got called to go to the Middle East, you know, Comic-Con Arabia, you know, Nexus, League of Legends competition. We were there together, man, and you made it happen. So how can you tell you're not well known? I mean, you, like they called you up all the way to Saudi Arabia to one of the first events to take place in the pop culture scene, which is another history in the making moment actually altogether. But, you know, I think it's beautiful to see that's how humble you are, you know, and how like you keep yourself contained, which we really appreciate in beautiful people like yourself who is doing this amazing trade. So thank you for doing that.
You have to stay, and you got to stay humble. You have to stay humble. You got to, like, I don't care what it is you're doing, but especially in the cosplay world, you have to stay humble because, again, there's always going to be an interpretation of someone saying, well, someone else is better or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, one thing, like a lot of people want to know is like, how do I get more well known, and how do I kind of, I personally say that, again, we live in an age where people want to know you, and it's not 100% about, you know, your crafting and stuff. A lot of people want to know that, hey, I'm you know, this person is like kind of human just like me. That's why I love with the whole COVID stuff. I'm loving all the podcasts and interviews and stuff doing like this, like where you're seeing these people in their home, in their natural environment. You know, it's just it's relaxed, people without makeup and stuff like that. It's just it's reassuring to know that, oh man, like these people are just like me. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think will have people gravitate more towards you, to show that dude, you're human, and you have emotions, you have feelings, and you have good days, you have bad days. With not to get too down, but with everything that's going on in the world with a lot of the protests and stuff like that, a lot of cosplayers and just media personalities period are speaking up, you know, to it. And it's freaking a lot of people out because they're like, well, I come to you because I want to escape the reality of the world and stuff. The thing is, maybe the reality of the world has now affected like these people, so they have to speak up about it, you know. And while there's, you know, 10 people that's like upset that their favorite cosplayer is talking about the injustices, there's 20 people that are so happy that this person has taken the time, you know, to talk about it. So it just shows that we're all connected, we're all human, and it just humanizes everyone. So I say try and do that. Try and just be yourself. You know, don't try and put a fake persona on yourself. And if you know, if you're having a bad day and you just don't feel like doing makeup today, that's typically what you're known for, is doing makeup and stuff. If you just don't feel like doing makeup, you just want to speak to your audience and say, man, I'm just having a bad day, this is why, or whatever, do that. Don't ever feel afraid to not be yourself. And I think that's a lot of times, that's a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't know how to market myself, I don't know how just kind of just not turn off what it is I'm trying to be. Just turn it off, man. Just be yourself.
Interesting. Because, you know, right now, what a lot is going on, a lot of cosplayers, what they're trying to do is they, of course, they want to be well known. They, because I think with all the effort they've been given, you know, let's say they're spending money, they're spending time and effort, and they're learning craftsmanship. They're learning. Some of them are learning how to act and all that kind of stuff. So I guess there is like a human part, I would say, whether it's good or bad, is that they seek attention. And it's like, oh, you know, I worked so hard on my trade, you know, it would be nice to get some compliments, or nice to get some words of affirmation, that kind of stuff. So a lot of them, they go and one of the only places they feel they can be noticed is conventions. But at a time like, you know, the COVID-19 Corona,
right.
we are doing this, you know, interestingly fun, open topics, are the one we're having with you right now, Your Highness. it's interesting to see that how they are right now trying to use technology, and a lot of them I see they're using TikTok and Instagram, and they're trying their best to learn the algorithms of different platforms of what seeks and what works better for your trade. So now you get the human side of things, and which is very important, is just be yourself and things will just happen. But what else can you tell to all the cosplayers right now listening to you? It's like, and how to market themselves. It's like, is there like a formula you're using, or is just like, you know what, man, do what you love and just let things take place? Or is it like a certain tip you can give to the cosplayers of how to market themselves?
There's absolutely 100% a formula for definitely what you hit. You hit it right on the nail with the algorithms for like Instagram, like when to post and when not to post, certain photos to post. Make sure like the clarity of the photos are perfect, and hashtags, what to use, what hashtags to use, what hashtags not to use. There's a formula to it. Personally, I have never used that formula because
Okay.
I'm too lazy to do that and stuff. But
It is work.
it is so much work. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there. So yeah, like if you know, you're doing the TikTok, you're doing the Instagram, and you're doing these videos and stuff like that, dude, like don't be afraid to like go to these cosplay groups and share your work and say, hey, listen, promote yourself. Like I'm promoting myself. This is what like look at me. Look at this video I did, or look at this new costume I made. This is how I made it. Like I'm forcing you to look at this stuff. So don't think you're only bound to just sharing things on your timeline and on your page and stuff. Man, go to these other groups and just throw yourself out there. And soon, you know, people are going to say, "Oh man," they're going to take notice. They're going to say, "Oh wow, like I really like your stuff. Let me go over to your page and see what else you're doing." You know, so don't be afraid to. I don't like using this word, but don't be afraid to start, you know, to spam other groups and stuff with you know, related content, because that's how you're going to get a lot of people to take notice in you. But as far as like the algorithms and stuff, yeah, like there's a whole science to that. And I like one of my friends, oh my Sophie, that's her bread and butter, man. Like she works day and night and looking at the algorithms and looking at how, you know, how social media works and what to use and what not to use. And if you want to go that route, you can, but more so, I think it's more about just being yourself again and not being afraid to show yourself and try new things. Like honestly, I haven't got it. I love the TikToks. Like I think it's really creative. It's awesome. I personally just haven't got into it again because I'm 40 years old and I'm lazy.
Oh,
And
no,
I just
man. You're
I
not.
feel
You're
like
not
I'm not.
old. You look younger than kids that I know. What are you talking
Listen,
about?
listen. This has been the most terrible thing for me. Like doing all like the online stuff because I'm like, how do this work? Oh, how do this do
Yeah.
stuff? It's just
Uh,
I've become that old man that's out of touch with technology. But yeah, so just don't be afraid to try new things. And you know, and actually you brought up the thing with like the TikTok and like the acting. So don't be afraid to also start to embody the character. So like a lot of people really do enjoy the embodiment of the characters. That's actually one reason why I love doing shows overseas, conventions overseas, because their contests are very, very, very performance based. Where in the US, it's not so much; it's more about just craftsmanship. But I love going overseas because it's more about the performance, and I love that. I love the embodiment of the characters. So yeah, don't be afraid to just try new things, man.
okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's work. It's pretty much
It,
marketing yourself. It's work. That's
it's
simply said. It's work. But don't lose
it's
yourself
work.
while doing it.
And yeah, and don't get discouraged. Like to be honest with you, man, like again, there's conventions popping up every single weekend, right? And then also there's cosplayers out the wazoo. So, you know, you do a costume, there's going to be 10,000 other people who do that exact same character different ways. So you can't be discouraged because it's hard to stand out in a crowd of 10,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? You just
Yeah.
kind of have to you got to kind of find your niche. And sometimes it's just being about the right place at the right time, someone seeing the right thing, again, sharing it to maybe the right group who shares it to the right person, and just if everything clicks. So just don't be discouraged. Just keep going, keep plugging away.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, finding your niche. That's definitely it. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, but hey, I mean,
It's not.
it's worth the experimentation. It's worth actually going and looking for that. That's definitely it.
It's about the journey. That's where it's at.
Journey. Definitely. Yeah. And a lot of times that even I tell myself about that is that me as a person who is pretty much more into the media or entertainment side of the pop culture and the gaming scene is that I shouldn't really much look at the results as much as like I need to enjoy my journey now. So I wouldn't rob the happiness of what's happening now because I'm thinking of the future that I haven't even reached yet. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The journey. It's all about the journey. I love that. And a lot of cosplayers are like, I've seen a lot of things that happen with cosplayers, and it's interesting that how it got built up. Like if I would talk about the scene in the Middle East, cosplayers and event organizers, in the beginning, they kind of like, I wouldn't say they were confused, but they were like all sucked in this kind of hype. They want to understand what's really going on with cosplay. We understand that cosplay competition attract a lot of viewers, but is it really the case or not? And then all of a sudden, the cosplayers saw that a lot of people do come for cosplayers, but do they or do they not? Are they here for the esport events? Are they here for the celebrities? Are they here just for the cosplayers? So it took it some time to understand that each thing has its own momentum. And even when it comes to cosplay, because it reached to a point that they were pumping in some crazy amount of money. And you've seen the amount of money they put in the League of Legends Middle East tournament.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I saw that. I'm like, oh, my heart, like, I want to enter it now. I don't want to judge this. I want to enter. Like, holy crap.
You would make more money competing than judging. And we're like, why? We love cosplay, but no, man, come on, cosplay. Oh my god. So of course, Suud Hazani, big ups to him for winning the competition. Is like, dude, you're like, I told him, like, you're taking me out for dinner for 1 year now. That's it. It's like 1 year, just dinner with me, and I know you're gonna pay for it. I'm just telling you. We're signing a contract on that.
Yep, that's right.
But it's crazy that all of a sudden right now they think that they get the best cosplay is that by putting up the biggest pool prize, which is $10,000 or whatever it is. And even in Bahrain, they had a prize of, listen to this, they get prize money and 2 tickets to Japan. That was IGN Bahrain 2017, if I'm mistaken. 2 tickets to Japan plus prize, money, all that, because they understood that, I think there's a lot going on. Cosplayers all of a sudden like see that they need support, and they want things to spread around, and just we want to see that the scene should be bigger and bigger. So it's amazing to see that ever since 2010 up until now, how cosplay became so popular, and it's developing itself to see what works and what doesn't. Even event organizers, they're like realizing like, what can we do to make the cosplay scene work even more and more? So they're listening to cosplayers, they're listening to what's going on. So right now, cosplay in the Middle East is definitely a huge, and I would say an integral part of any pop culture event, to the point that they would even pay some of the cosplayers just to come and walk around. And I think eventually enough, it's going to be like a job to some of the cosplayers to actually go around and just be a cosplayer, which I hope can be a case for a lot of people. But then now, going back to what's happening in the US, how popular and how cosplay is perceived in the US right now?
I mean, right now, I think it's like globally pretty much exactly what you just said. When I first started, it was still kind of like, well, I mean, cosplay is cool, but it's not, we don't need to have it. But now, like, you go to a convention and there's no cosplayers, like, you're more apt just to turn around and walk out the door. You don't want to be there. Like, cosplay has become such an integral part of conventions. It goes hand in hand. So I mean, you need the esports, you need, the artists and the celebrities, but the cosplaying is equally as important as anything else. So now conventions understand that. they 100% understand that they need the cosplay, a cosplay atmosphere. So now, you know, their conventions have made like complete cosplay zone. You know, you used to have like the celebrity zones for autograph signings. You would have like artist alley. Now you got just cosplay zone, and it's just all cosplay there. And you know, they're building their entire convention around the costume contest and stuff. It's all about the cosplay.
Oh man, oh man. And now just I know I didn't like very much point on that, but I like that night cave. Made like mage cave, I would say. And it's just so I love that. It's like, well, I can see all those helmets and stuff in the background. It's like you know, your cave is that their workshop
Yeah,
place
it's
going
like,
on.
well, that was my mannequin.
Whoa. Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, this is just my little my area where I just have those are some awards.
Okay.
I have my wall of just like different art, like fan art that people drew and autographs from different creators and stuff like that. And then my honestly my work table, my workstation table.
Oh,
But yeah,
look at that.
but it's just everyone's like where do you like make all your costumes? You must have like some big like warehouse or workshop. Like, nah, like I just have like I used to have just my living room, and then you know we bought the
Okay.
house. Now I just have my mage cave room, and that's it. That's all I need.
Okay.
Just a table. There's a sewing room upstairs, so that's where all the sewing stuff happens.
A
But
sewing room upstairs. Phenomenal.
yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, I mean, you know, it's not about again, it's not about the money you put into things. It's not about, you know, your workspace area. It's not about like the pageantry. It's just, honestly, it's just about the creativity, about how much creativity you want to put into it. You can make, you know, a $10 item look like $1,000 item if you just have enough creativity, a little bit of time and patience and enthusiasm with it. So don't always, you know, if you're working around in just like your basement or your living room, don't worry about that, man. Just do the best you can.
Awesome. Awesome. So with the Mage Cave, I would like to ask you about the actual brand, the name, Night
I'm
Mage. Which honestly, I mean, I'm so happy you picked that because it fits. It does fit. Like when I say Night Mage and I like visualize what would a Night Mage look like, and it's like when I see him, like, yes, of course. I don't know why. I don't know what's the science behind it, but yeah, this Night Mage. Night Mage should be Michael. So how did you come up with that name?
The funny thing, man, like now, like people either will just call me Mage, or like I have friends with kids, and they're like, "Night Mage coming over," or like I'm not Michael anymore. Like literally, people just call me either Night Mage or Mage. It's hilarious. But the name, uh, do you remember a reality show called Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
I heard of it a long time ago,
Okay,
but
it was back
never got
like
the chance.
2000, like 2006. But it was the big thing was it was hosted by Stan Lee, and basically it was a reality show where you go on a show and you have this character you created, and you're in like it was like Big Brother where you're in this, you know, house with these people, and once in a while Stanley would put you on an adventure. Like he would tell you, I want you to go to the store and buy a sandwich or something, and then while you're at the store, like something to happen where someone will drop $100 bill and there's cameras on you. So they want to see like, are you going to do the heroic thing and pick up the $100 bill and turn it in, or you know that type of stuff. Like, how are you? Like, are you the true hero that you're supposed to be portraying yourself to be?
Mm.
And so I missed the first season, and I decided to audition for the second season. And so
Audition.
yeah, so you have to create your character. You think of a name, you think of a backstory, you come up with a costume and all that stuff. And so I came up with the character Night Mage, and basically he was a cross between a Jedi Knight and Doctor Strange. And
Huh.
again, this was like 2006, man. So this is before I knew anything about making costumes or anything. Like literally, my costume is. I wish I had actually even have pictures still of it, but my costume was basically just a black trench coat with a hood and like a purple Under Armour shirt And
Okay.
I had I don't know, I wanted kind of a wizard type of look.
Huh.
So, you had to. I have a very funny story about filming my audition tape too.
Do you have it?
I don't have the audition tape, but I'll tell the story to say it's terrible. But so I auditioned for it, and I sent my audition tapes in, and then I went actually to Washington and auditioned in person, and then I went to Florida audition. So I actually got to become an alternate for season 2, but I didn't obviously make the show. But that was how the name came about. And then once I didn't do anything with that and started cosplaying, I decided, I was like, I'm just going to do a couple like quick 2-minute YouTube shorts of the character, just something stupid, just I was bored, so I started doing that. And then when I got into the cosplaying, I was like, I have this like Knightmage Facebook page, I'm just going to use that name, and just all my cosplay stuff just became that, and I just became Knightmage.
Okay. Wow.
That was it.
Imagine if you actually made the cut and actually became part of season 2. I mean,
dude,
I
would have been awesome. I've actually had like a lot of people say, like a lot of artists and creators say that they would love to do something with the character and really kind of hone it and like redesign it and stuff. And I would 100% be up for it. I don't have that drive right now to do anything with that character. I probably should. I really need to have that drive, but
okay.
I don't have it right now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So right now, with all you said, maybe, I don't know, it's going to be a basic question, but with all these years that you gave into cosplay and all these beautiful memories you built and all these, I would say, obstacles, challenges, and at the same time, all these amazing moments and the people you met around the world. So if I would ask you, what does cosplay means to you right now? What would you say?
Ooh. What does it mean? Cosplay, what it means is, to me, is, it sounds really corny, but I think it's just your expression, your happiness, your whatever it is that puts you at peace. You know what I mean? Like honestly, when I'm working on a costume, when I'm doing makeup, when I'm doing anything, like when I'm actually at a convention and I'm cosplaying, and it's just, that is when I'm at my most peaceful. That's when I'm at my most relaxed. And to me, it's everyone has that. Some people it's the gym, some people it's church, some people it might be work, but it's that happy place. It's that place of peacefulness, and that's what it is for me.
Man, wow, that's just euphoria right there. I mean, it's like it's zen. It's peace. That's beautiful. I mean, bless you. That's all I can say. I mean, to find that peace, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and I can see it. I can see it in you. The more you talk about cosplay, I can see that you're happy, you're excited, you're positive, and there's so much to tell. I'm sure that there's way more stories that we don't know about it. I just want to tell us more about it. It's just crazy. It's beautiful to see, and you can tell when a person is so into something. And when you say, well, it means that I am at a moment of peace. That's it.
Just your brain just creating is man, like, yeah, when you're creating, you said it earlier, like you have those endorphins going, and just like there, honestly, man, like if I'm working out and I start thinking about a character, and then like I put a song on to relate to that character, and I'm just now thinking about like how I'm gonna, I'm visualizing myself in that costume and how I design it in my head and stuff. Like there is no better feeling than that I love that. I love it. And that's maybe why I create so much, is because I'm always looking for those endorphins.
Oh man. And it's the same thing with me in hosting events. I swear to God, it's the same feeling I get when I hold the mic. That's it. Doesn't matter what payments or whatever. Even am I hosting on a big stage or small stage? It's that dopamine. It's that endorphin.
Yeah, man.
It's like, that's what it means to me. That's what I want to do all the time. I may not be the best MC. I may not be the most famous. I don't care. I just want to hold the mic and just enjoy and feel the energy of people. That's And when he said peace, it's crazy that how can a person yell so much on stage and that's peace to him? To me, it's peace. I don't know what to say, but it is.
And I don't care what you say, dude. You are the best host I've ever met. Like,
man,
dude,
thank you.
Honestly, like your energy is just amazing. I don't know. I just love you, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Love you back. Wow, this is a lot. And I'm sure a lot of people love you as well, you know, as you made your trips to the Middle East. I mean, they can't wait to have you back again here physically.
Physically, yes. Hopefully. I mean, oh man, I was supposed to, go over last year at the end of last year, and then this stuff happened. I'm so bummed. This is it's been crazy. But again, like I said, this being able to do these type of interviews and stuff like that, it's still awesome because again, you get to see people in their natural, their kind of natural habitat. It's just
with my Batman T-shirt. Look at that.
I dig it.
It's Arabic calligraphy, man. It is Arabic calligraphy. Look.
Okay, that is awesome.
I'm gonna get your size. Don't worry about it. Even if we have to make a new one, we're gonna make that happen. All right, this has been awesome. So we've been instructed to say that if there are any questions, for whoever's watching us right now, thank you so much for doing that. I know today is it's Friday, it's family day. Especially today is the release of The Last of Us 2. Everybody's going crazy over that. Have you seen the game?
I have. There's been like so many mixed, feelings about this game.
Man, this is for another day, man. I swear to God, this is gonna be like another hour.
Like so many people are divided. This is terrible.
Oh man, you have no idea. Well, anyways, we can leave that for another day. All right. We're going to give it to our control, Mr. Matthew, with us here today. He's doing an amazing job. Thank you so much. And all the management taking place as well. Arafat and the entire team who putting this together. Special thanks to you guys. Now, if there are any questions, the operator right now, the guy in control is going to send us the questions. If you have any questions, you can write them down in the comments. I'm going to say that in Arabic. أعزائي المشاهدين يعطيكم ألف عافية على المشاهدة. الحين لكم المجال تسألون أي سؤال تبونه. اللي عليكم تسوونه بس تروحون في الكومنتات تحت وتعطونا أي سؤال تسألونه للبطل المشهور الكوسبلاير KNIGHTMAGE. So the floor is yours. Until we get the first question, let's just talk more. So yeah, The Last of Us, man.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited for it or not. I don't know. Yeah. I think I am. I think I am.
I actually did my first photo shoot cosplay thing. It was normal apparel, but because the Last of Us just represents the real world and the pandemic, and I did this one photo shoot, man. It kind of went viral, so I'll show it to you later. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, see, now you got the bug. See, now next week you're gonna be like, "Hey, man, I'm working on my next costume." Hey, yep. That's how it starts.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we never got to ask you this. What are your favorite cosplays that you've made so far? You look at it, whatever you feel. You're like, you know what? I want to feel good. Let's go.
Dude, that's like asking who your favorite kid is. Like, that's terrible. You know what? I honestly love villains. Like, I love doing villains because I don't know, just embody the villain, like Darkseid. I love doing the Grinch from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I could just be a jerk. I could be a total jerk to people, and they still love it because it's the Grinch. Yeah, villains are a lot of fun. Some characters I love just because I feel powerful, like Spawn and Kratos, Hellboy.
Kratos. Ooh.
There's some characters I feel like very noble, like Snake Eyes. I just feel I'm a ninja. I'm an awesome ninja. Like, so I think every costume has different reasons why. As far as like crafting, probably Predator. The Predator is probably the one I'm most proud of with the crafting. Again, because I'm the type of person where I don't want to spend buku money on costumes, so my budget is like $250. If I can't make it, modify it, or anything else for $250 or less, then I'm not doing it. So I like to show that you can make a costume for $125 and make it look like it costs $1,000, which that was how much I made the Predator costume for. was 125. And there's a show called Man at Arms. Well, it used to be a show called Man at Arms on YouTube. And basically what they would do is they would take reproductions of different like movie props or video game props, and they basically, they're blacksmiths, and they recreate the costume or the weapon. And so they were doing a Predator episode, and so they wanted to make his wrist blades. So one of the guys, Matt Stagmer, and he saw me at KatsuCon one year wearing it, and so he didn't know who I was. He literally just started asking everyone around on the internet, like, who is this dude? Like, showing him pictures, and someone said, "Oh, I think that's KNIGHTMAGE." So he looked me up, found me. He's like, "Hey, listen, I want you in this video." So I went down to Baltimore and we filmed it, and it was just awesome that having something I did that cost $125 that someone that wants me to be in their video to represent the Predator. That's like my shining moment for the Predator.
Oh man, that was crazy.
And also the Playboy, the magazine Playboy. They
wow.
They shared the link, and so my Predator costume was like the caption for the link and stuff for that episode on Playboy. So it was just ridiculous.
Well, we got a question here.
Yeah, question.
Abdallah is saying that how can a person who is insecure with his looks, so its face and body, can deal with that as a cosplayer? Plus, he was talking about the material and the products, but I guess right now we can just focus more about the insecurity some cosplayers have regarding their looks, faces, and bodies, which is something some cosplayers actually do face, unfortunately.
Well, couple different things. So, I mean, I'm going to use myself as an example on that. So, one of my first costumes I bought was Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. So I bought a Spider-Man costume. I was doing charity events and birthday parties and stuff. Kids loved it. The adults loved it. However, I'm 6 foot, 250 pounds, and Spider-Man traditionally isn't seen that way. So I know, me personally, I know I can be Spider-Man all day long, but there got to a point where I personally just didn't feel comfortable in that costume anymore. So I stopped wearing it. And I know I can do it, but I just personally don't feel comfortable. However, I still do other characters that are kind of small, in stature. I do Robin, I do Link, I've done so many other characters, but there's some characters that I just don't feel personally like I want to do. Sometimes that's something you have to come to terms with yourself, is like, what do you feel comfortable in? And that's the important thing, is how do you feel in this? If you feel comfortable in it, man, go for it. If you don't feel comfortable in it, don't do it, because you're not going to have fun. And that's another, speaks to the accuracy part too, is, just because you see a costume and it looks great on this mannequin, or it looks great on screen, or it looks great on the comic page, it doesn't mean it's going to translate 100% well on you. So don't be afraid to tweak things to fit your body and stuff. I know how my body's shaped, so when I'm wearing spandex, I might have to add fabric here or there to kind of cheat and kind of slim myself down or something. You know what I mean? So you have to know your body, and don't be afraid to make the tweaks to complement yourself. But also, again, the cosplay community is so welcoming and it's so positive that, dude, just you being the character, you're going to be loved for it. And so, again, we're that's what it's about. So it's easier said than done, especially if it's going to be like your first costume. You're going to be a little self-conscious, but the once you get into it, the more you do it and more comfortable you are, dude, people are going to gravitate towards it, and you'll be just fine.
All right. So we got 2 more questions, actually. One of the questions is that, now, how long have you been cosplaying for?
So, since 2012. So I don't math. What is that? 8 years.
So we're talking about 8 years? 8
Yeah.
years? Which is, wow, you're a veteran.
I don't 8 years? I don't know. Like that's not a lot, really.
Yeah. I mean, still for a certain trade. I mean, how long cosplay was there? I mean, out there. Like, if we, like, I don't know if people even call it cosplay back, like since Halloween started, or any occasion when you need to be in costume.
No.
But I think
I mean,
as cosplay, as the word cosplay, I think what 20 years now.
how about I guess like I know people that I became friends with people who they were cosplaying. They say before it was called cosplay, it was just called costuming. But man, back in the '60s, there was still like like Trek conventions and stuff like that, and people dressed up, and so the word cosplay wasn't around, but people have always been doing the costuming thing. So yeah, in a grand scope of things, 8 years I don't think is a long time. I think 8 years. I will say I think 8 years is to me I think a short time for the amount of things I've done, but I don't think it's a long time.
Okay. Okay. Now, two more questions. How do you keep a balance in your life with all the characters you've been cosplaying, and you being sheriff, and being the same time, having your life and working and cosplaying, and life with your girlfriend and all that? How do you keep all that balance going on?
It was tough. It was when I first started. I felt like I was getting pulled in so many different directions, and it did take it took a while for me to hit that balance, to figure out how to navigate everything. So basically, like right now, like if this was a normal life right now, like during the week I work. I have my 5-day work week. Typically I don't make costumes. I do my workouts like before work and stuff like that. So I found out when to fit my workout schedule in. I go to work. My off days, I have 2 days off. That's when I work on costumes. If I'm not doing a convention or a charity event, then I'm working on costumes, and then also spending time with friends and girlfriend and stuff like that. And that's another reason why I have to work fast, is because I don't have a lot of time. So, when I start a costume, I gotta get to it and get going, because I know I don't have, a lot of time to spend on that. Um, don't I will say this: if you're struggling with trying to find a way to make balance, at the core, costuming is awesome, and it's a great hobby that can become your passion and become your peace. But don't ever neglect your other responsibilities for it. Like, your responsibilities should always come first. So if you see your job is suffering, then focus on that. If you see your relationship suffering, focus on that. If you see whatever it is, you need to prioritize what it is. If your job is costuming and stuff, then okay, that's a different story. You gotta prioritize, but it's just prioritizing and figuring out the hierarchy, what's most important. And once you do that, everything should pretty much fall into place. You should be able to, everything will balance out. Everything will become pretty even.
Yeah, prioritizing. Okay, put that in mind, definitely. Now, it's two more questions. Saying that, how does it feel to travel the world, being night mage?
Dude, if 13 years ago,
All right,
or 10 years ago,
yeah,
or you said, "Hey, man, you're going to be doing this and traveling," like, I would have just slapped you in the face, man. Like, I never
I know the
imagined
feeling. I
this.
know the feeling.
And dude, the one thing is so I love about traveling the world is no matter where you go, it's like a family reunion. Like,
Mm,
like
yeah.
first time coming to the Middle East, first time coming to the Middle East, I had no idea what to expect, never been to the Middle East, and so, so all, you talk to people and say, "Hey, I'm going over to the Middle East," and a lot of people are, oh, they're worried, or they're, this, all you see is what you see on the news, and the perceptions you have from other people and stuff like that. But being able to experience and travel and experience other people and their cultures and stuff, it's just so eye-opening. And it's reassuring to know that we're all connected, we're all human. It's just, again, it's like a family reunion. No matter where I go, if it's first time being there, second time, it doesn't matter. First time meeting, it doesn't matter. We're connecting on some level, and it's like I've always known you, or your family. It's just my first time meeting you, but I just love it. Love traveling. Love meeting everyone.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I can share the feeling actually. Now, are there rules for cosplaying? And like, I think wherever you go around the world, I mean, what kind of rules you've been seeing that that are actually accommodating to cosplay?
I mean, that's a tricky question. Are there rules? So, the one saying, there are no rules in cosplay. The only rule is, don't be a jerk. That's the only rule.
All right.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
But then, that's just a given. However, when you start thinking about certain aspects, like culturally and stuff, then that's where you're getting into rules, Excuse me. So, like, going over again, let's use the Middle East for example. Again, there's certain rules about costuming, standards and stuff as far as what can be shown and not shown and stuff, like, you know what I mean. So there's rules in that type of way. There's rules, and like I know this is a very popular subject as like the black facing, which is basically darkening your skin to portray yourself as another race, and I know 95% of the people who do this are overseas, and where they're from, a lot of times it's not an issue. It's not it's not a cultural issue, but here in America, it's a huge cultural issue. So, we find it offensive where they don't find it offensive. So there's rules, and then there's kind of unwritten rules. If you ever, this is what I say. If you ever come across something, you're like, well, I wonder, should I do this? Don't be afraid to ask. Like I get a lot of times, Storm from the X-Men. I'll get a lot of times, a lot of white girls will say, hey, I want to be Storm from the X-Men. Like, how should I do it? Should I not do it because I'm scared? No, do it. But that you don't have to paint your skin to become Storm. Like, you wear the costume, make your costume, and you're Storm. You don't have to paint your skin to do that. So if there's ever a question, if you're wondering should you or shouldn't you do something, don't be afraid to ask. A lot of times you're going to get different opinions and stuff like that, but just use your common sense and just know if you're going to offend someone, then 9 times out of 10 you probably shouldn't do it.
Okay. Just don't be a jerk. Simple as that.
Don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, just don't be a jerk. I mean, okay, there are more questions coming up here as well.
Yeah.
What do we have here for another question taking place? Have you ever considered you taking cosplay as full-time?
Nah. I like things called like retirement and medical insurance and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, to be honest with you, like, again, I know my place as far as where I am with the costuming. I'm a 40-year-old black male. I'm not that marketable in that way.
Really?
So I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be kind of real with yourself. I know, that's not a demographic that's going to be conducive to, making a living off of. Now, if you're talking about going into prop making and working for companies and stuff like that, that's a different story. But just on like a cosplay side, no. Like I love what I do as far as I'm able to do this. Again, I can make a profit. I can donate to charity and support charities and stuff. But then also my bread and butter, my career is in law enforcement. So I feel like I can have the best of both worlds. So
I understand.
I'm really happy with where I'm at.
It's actually a very good place to be at, so you wouldn't lose a lot. So keeping a good balance, I guess, between your work and what you love, it's actually a beautiful place to be at. So yeah, Definitely, definitely. Now, a person said that if he had somebody would just throw some money at you, say, here is 10,000 US dollars. What costume would you redo? Like a remake of one of your costumes?
Remake. Oh man. Oh, I thought you were going to ask like which costume would I do? Because off the rip, Voltron.
Voltron.
Like, listen,
like mechanical stuff, stuff like that, like metal plastics.
Like like the mech, the Voltron with the lions, not the cars. That's like my ultimate dream costume. Like once I do that costume, I'm done. I'm never making anything ever again. So yeah, Voltron is like my absolute dream. If I could redo a costume with no limits, oh man, that's tough. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Spawn. And the only reason why is because I would want the most insane cape. Like, I would want this cape to be like 25 feet long and just like waving at all times. And just like,
Dude, that's a blanket.
Yeah. This cape would just be insane. So yeah, probably Spawn.
Like I can see the kids like with 25 feet long cape and just walking around and he's like, let me cover you from the sun. It's like all the kids will be under your cave and walking around. It's like, okay, nap time.
Yes,
that's what I
want. Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be super cool. That's super cool. All right, man, can you believe 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes?
Has it been really?
Dude, it's 6:30
Wow.
my place here. It's 7:30 UAE. Okay. It's 6:30 in KSA. It's amazing. Wow. You see, that's the energy. That's what I love, because when it's genuine, it's legit, and it's real life. A lot of people say, "Hey, would you do it full time?" They don't understand that, or maybe they do. It's just that I know it's passionate and all that, but it's good to have reality into matters where you have a balance of life and what you love at the same time. And being personal about it, being beautiful about it, what brings this trade into what it's supposed to be and what it is right now, especially when it comes to cosplay. So before we end this, do you have any ending remarks to all your lovely audience right here in eComic-Con Live? Oh yes, of course. Hi.
My sassy cat wanted to say hi. She's just no, man, like, I'm honored to be a part of this. Like, it's like I've done a few things that were like kind of the first for the Middle East, and like this is another one, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. And yeah, that's it, man. I just want to thank everyone who tuned in, and of course, like obviously anyone can message me and talk to me outside of this, and don't be afraid to talk to me.
Oh man, this is so much. Oh, that's Stacy, the cat.
Oh no, Sassy.
Okay,
Sassy. Yeah, Sassy Cat stands for Sassafras T. Wilson.
Oh wow.
I don't. Yeah, the T just stands for T, but that's my baby girl.
All right. Would you cosplay with Sassy one day? Oh, did you?
So I actually, Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, I did that, and so Sassy played the part of, Sassy Cat played the part of his cat, and I kind of do want to do a little armor for her. Like, I don't know, like everyone says I should, because I've done He-Man, so everyone's like, well, you should turn her into Battle Cat. I don't know.
You said Voltron, right? Maybe she can be part of your armor, because they're all lions, so might as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god! I saw a light bulb just like, whoa, really?
That's got to happen now. Oh yes.
Okay. All right. Awesome. This is so awesome. All right. So I guess pretty much we are gonna end this session masterclass. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Prominent.
I'm gonna be very excited. Very excited for the contest. Can't wait for that. So I'll see you then.
Yeah, definitely. Don't forget, we're gonna going to have a cosplay competition coming up very soon. All you have to do is just read the regulations and see what's happening over there as well for all the guidelines. طبعا اعزائي المشاهدين يعطيكم الف عافيه ما قصرتوا معنا هني في هذا البث المباشر مع العظيم المتالق الفنان مايكل من امريكا. نايت ميج كان معنا هني باي كوميك كون لايف معاكم بث مباشر. And again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all the viewers around the world, and especially here in the Middle East. Thank you so much for watching us and tuning in here to a very fun, never thought it was going to be even up to 90 minutes. It's so much awesomeness happening here in one place with the awesome His Majesty, His Highness, His Awesomeness, Mr. Michael from the United States, aka KNIGHTMAGE. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us here in eComic-Con Live.
You honor me. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. يعطيكم العافية ومع السلامة.